Welcome, wrestling fans, to the Tim Reynolds Show's WWE Show review as I'm reviewing the Monday Night Raw from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And this Monday Night Raw will be kicked off with Seth freaking Rollins as he sneak attacks Big Bronson Reed, who is on his way inside the arena with his luggage. But Rollins would have plans as he comes from behind, beating down Big Bronson Reed with his luggage across the back a couple of times before these two were separated by security on Raw. But it would not stop there, as Seth Rollins would go out to the middle of the ring and call out Bronson Reed, saying, "You want to be famous, big boy? I'll make you famous. Now get your ass out here and let's fight," as Seth Rollins is bringing the fight right to Big Bronson Reed. And of course, security tries to keep these two away from each other, but it would not be any good whatsoever, as security guards go flying across the ring, across the arena, as these two finally get their hands on one another and continue to beat each other down. And as it looked like Seth Rollins was going to be put through the announcer's table, Big Bronson Reed would actually go for a tsunami to put through Rollins and through the table, but Rollins would roll out at the last second as Reed goes right through the commentary's table. Man, what a chaotic way to kick off Monday Night Raw, as these two were finally separated from one another by security, and now General Manager Adam Pearce has got to sort out all this chaos to kick off Monday Night Raw. Wow. And we would see next backstage an interview with Damage Control after they had a championship opportunity last week that was foiled by NXT Women's Tag Team Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. And Io Sky and Kairi Sane would not be too happy about that, as they have a match with those two on Tuesday night on NXT. But we would see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez cut this interview short, interrupting their interview, as Liv Morgan, you know she loves the spotlight and loves the camera. She would call out WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax after she laid out Liv Morgan last week, attacking her on Monday Night Raw, making a huge statement before these two meet up to go one-on-one at Crown Jewel. And of course, Liv Morgan would say the reason Nia attacked her is because she's jealous of her, of everything she has with the Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Championship belt. But Damage Control would take exception to this and would challenge both Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan to a tag match later on in the evening. What a way to kick off Monday Night Raw. And then next up after this, guys, we have our first match of the evening, as this match would be a number one contender championship tournament tag match, where we would see the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston go one-on-one with the Final Testament, Authors of Pain, led by Karrion Kross there. And we would see also on ringside The Miz, who would show up during this match and would be causing a distraction a little bit from AOP, when out of nowhere R-Truth would come out and attack The Miz, and New Day would take advantage of the distraction and get the victory over the Final Testament. And man, R-Truth would come into the ring to celebrate with his boys, the New Day, after their big win. And as New Day went to walk away, R-Truth would catch himself in a pickle, as the Final Testament and The Miz would beat down R-Truth. And as Kofi Kingston would try to go out to help his friend, Xavier Woods would not let Kofi go, saying that they have to focus on the tag title opportunity that they got coming up next week. But we would see the Wyatt Six show up to have the back of R-Truth, as they've been really stalking the Final Testament and The Miz for weeks now. And now we know the Wyatt Six has their eyes set on the Final Testament and The Miz and Karrion Kross. And when it looked like The Miz was going to avoid being involved in this particular match, or in this particular beatdown, if you will, Uncle Howdy would come out of nowhere and go to attack Miz with the mandible claw. But the Authors of Pain manager, the old guy, would put himself in the way, pushing Miz out of the way and taking the mandible claw from Uncle Howdy. What a Monday Night Raw here. Already crazy as it is, as now it looks like Wyatt Six is going after the Final Testament and The Miz. What a Monday Night Raw here, guys. And then next up after this, we would see General Manager Adam Pearce backstage being asked how he plans on handling this situation with both Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, who continue to just attack each other once again here in the middle of General Manager Adam Pearce's interview, as these two will not stop beating each other down. And then next up, we get a flashback of last Friday on SmackDown, where we see Jey Uso make a special appearance, going to talk to his younger brother Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline about what they've been doing as of lately with the family. And then Solo Sikoa actually kicked off the show by saying that these beatdowns will continue on Roman Reigns if he does not acknowledge him and join the Bloodline. And of course, Jey would come out to give his 2 cents, saying, "Little brother, look at me. I've become the Intercontinental Champion, and you can do the same. You just have to handle this business differently with Roman. Even I have my problems with Roman, but this is not the way to handle things. Why did you bring Tampa and Tonga and Jacob Fatu? You know how they are." And he told Jacob, "And if you keep staring at me the way you do, I'm gonna beat you down." Man, big words coming from main event Jey Uso, and Solo would respond by saying, "All you need to do is acknowledge me as your tribal chief. You are welcomed anytime, as I'm trying to bring honor back to our family and to the Bloodline." What a big statement there from Solo Sikoa, but we would see Jey end it by saying, "The next time you see me, brother, it will not be the same. Things will be different." And he drops the mic there, and that was their Friday night interaction before we would see this Monday night interaction here, where we would see he would be interviewed. That would be main event Jey Uso right after this video promo, asking what that was all about. And we would see Jey say, "Well, even though I'm in the city of brotherly love, I got no love from my brothers in here, but I gotta focus on the match that I have tonight to defend my Intercontinental Championship, as main event Jey Uso will go one-on-one with the challenger, Braun Breaker." And guys, after this interview, we would see Raquel Rodriguez have a video promo as she plans on taking out Rhea Ripley after not only costing her the Women's World Championship at Bad Blood, she also plans on beating down Rhea in the future and taking care of business for Liv and the Judgment Day as far as the Rhea problem goes. Next up after this, guys, we would have our next match of the evening, and this would be Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion, and Raquel Rodriguez in a tag team match going up against Damage Control. But we would see Lash Legend and, Jakara Jackson, the NXT Women's Tag Team there, get involved in this matchup, and that would end up causing a disqualification, which Liv Morgan and Raquel were not too happy about. But then, out of nowhere comes Rhea Ripley, looking to beat down Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and she would do that inside the ring, and as she was looking to take out Liv Morgan, she would be saved by Dirty Dominic Mysterio. But Mysterio would catch himself crossed in the crosshairs there, as Rhea Ripley would also look to take him out before he was rescued by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, as it looks like Rhea Ripley is not done with Liv Morgan or the Judgment Day as of yet. We're going to have to see what happens as Rhea go ahead and makes a big statement here on Monday Night Raw. And then next up after this, guys, we would see Seth freaking Rollins and Bronson Reed still attacking each other on Monday Night Raw, and that would lead General Manager Adam Pearce to make this match official, as it will be Seth freaking Rollins going one-on-one with Big Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel, the WWE's premium live event. Congratulations, Adam Pearce finally makes the match official. And then next backstage, we would see the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and also JD McDonough and Carlito be joined by Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. After what happened previously, Raquel is pissed and wants her hands on Rhea. They would tell Raquel to calm down and say, Liv would say that she's got to focus on Nia Jax at Crown Jewel, and that the boys need to focus on that tag tournament where they'll have to defend their tag titles against whoever the number one contender is going to be. Now, Finn Balor would go on to say that they're not worried about any of the tag teams that they have to face on Monday Night Raw, but what he's worried about is Damian Priest trying to get himself back in the World Championship picture there for the World Heavyweight title, and he doesn't like that at all, and they got to try to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then next up after this, guys, we would see backstage our next match of the night would be a tag team match where we would see American Made going one-on-one with LWO, and Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee were able to pull out all the stops and get the victory in this one over American Made, as the Creed brothers were not able to get the win here, as LWO advances in the number one contender tag team tournament. And then next up after this, guys, backstage, we see General Manager Adam Pearce talking to Damage Control, trying to make sure that they know that he will do everything in his power to try to see what happened and take care of what happened with them earlier in the evening. And then he would be joined by none other than Dominic's friend Carlito, who actually said that he was going to be the fixer for Judgment Day and come out here and try to get Dirty Dominic Mysterio a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. against Gunther? Yeah, this is a little bit of a surprise, but Carlito would somehow make it happen. As Adam Pearce says, next week, Dirty Dominic Mysterio will go one-on-one with against a former World Heavyweight Champion, and he'll look to see if he can win that match and get himself in the title picture. And then next up after this, guys, we would see an interview with the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who would be talking about his invitation from Cody to come on Friday Night SmackDown, which he accepts, but he also thinks the undisputed WWE Champion is getting too personal and getting too many people involved in his personal business matters. And then we would see him interrupted by Damian Priest, as he comes to tell Gunther that once he's done at Crown Jewel, that he's going to be looking for him and coming for that World Heavyweight Championship, which he never lost in the first place, as it looks like Damian Priest is going to put himself back into the World Heavyweight Championship picture. And then next up after this, guys, we have our main event of the evening, as it would be main event Jey Uso going one-on-one with Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. And guys, we'd have one hell of a match in this one hell of a main event, as both of these guys left it all inside the squared circle. And Jey Uso really brought it to Braun Breaker. And then Breaker, would bring it right back to Jey Uso. And these two would go back and forth before Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline would show up on Monday Night Raw. Nonetheless, we should have seen this coming, as they try to get involved to help out Jey, but Jey wants no help at all, and he ends up super kicking the Bloodline members there, and out of nowhere comes Big Braun Breaker with the spear, but he doesn't connect to Jey Uso. He actually hits the spear on Solo Sikoa, and this will play a big part to later on in the match, as Jey was trying to finish things up when Braun Breaker kicked out not only of the spear from Jey Uso, but also the big Uso splash. It looked like Jey was going to win and retain the title, but Braun Breaker kicks out. And then later on in the match, we would see Jacob Fatu hit Jey Uso with a super kick, and then pick him up and slam him with a Samoan slam on top of the announcer's table. And of course, Braun Breaker's going to take advantage, as he would get Jey back in the ring and deliver an epic spear, and he becomes the new Intercontinental Champion, as Braun Breaker now gets the title back around his waist, as he now becomes a two-time Intercontinental Champion. What a main event, as now Jey Uso has found himself entangled up here with the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa, who's getting involved in his business, and now cost main event Jey Uso the main event of Monday Night Raw, and cost him his Intercontinental Championship. What's gonna happen now, as it looks like a Bloodline civil war is brewing between Jey Uso, the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Jimmy, and also the rest of the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa? What's gonna happen next? We'll have to wait to find out. And this has been your WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out more on Tim Reynolds Show, and make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.